Hello, and welcome back to the coffee chat. I'm in a slightly different place, mostly because I came in my office and was like, what is the least messy part of my office? And this is what I came up with. So we're chilling here on the floor next to the bookshelf and my new plant that doesn't have a pot yet, but you can't see that, so it doesn't matter. I went ahead and made some coffee. I've got iced coffee in my super cool new mug. Look at it, it says part of your world. And then it has Ariel and it has a seashell. I'm so excited. So before we get started, please tell me down below, who is your favorite Disney princess? And also, what's your favorite Disney movie? My favorite Disney princess is definitely Belle because I relate to her. But The Little Mermaid was probably my most watched movie as a child. So I'm fully on it with The Little Mermaid. Also, I just love the ocean, so there's that. Toasted marshmallow, yum. We have a couple of things to talk about. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things that I would like to talk about, plus I guess technically 3 things that y'all came up with, although one of them I already had on my list. So we're going to jump right on in it. First of all, huge announcement. TPT just announced in an email that we're going to have video previews on Google Drive resources. Hallelujah. I am so excited. I saw that and I was like, oh, I'm so pumped, so pumped. So I cannot wait. As of today, I'm filming this a few days early, but I didn't have access yet. So I'm not sure when that's coming or if they're gonna roll it out. Sometimes they roll things out like some accounts at a time. So I'm not sure all the details of it yet, but I'm super pumped for that. If you are looking to do your video previews for Google Drive, you can use on a Mac, you can use QuickTime to record your screen. It's free, it's included in your Mac. And if you don't have a Mac, you can use the Chrome extension Screencastify. I think videos that are less than 5 minutes are free and you can only have like a couple and then you have to pay for it. But I assume you can delete them and then, you know, do another one. I'm not sure because I've never used it, but those are 2 ways that you can screen record your screen so that you can make videos for your resources. I'm so pumped, so pumped. So that was very exciting news this week. Along with that, this week I have been very busy, not just this week, but over the past couple of weeks, because I have been trying to really get my store in a good spot before school starts back. So last year, I mentioned last year was like very exhausting, and it was a good year, but it was really exhausting. And so I'm trying to think of like how I can help that this year. So before the fall, I'm really trying to work on making sure that I have videos prepped. I have products that are just evergreen products, which means products that are good any time of the year. They're not seasonal. Lots of evergreen products up, some products that I like haven't quite finished that I like started, trying to get those things up, and then also like my blogging, trying to get that all squared away. So I have been like a busy bee over here. I promise I'm not working too much, but I have been working enough that I have been able to get quite a bit done. And I have to tell you, hello. Oh, look, Charlie got a new collar and it lights up. It's so cool. I know you don't get to enjoy the light upness, but it's so cool. I'll link it down below in case you're looking for it. We're going camping soon, and so I wanted to, I thought that would be good like safety precaution for walking the campsites we're going to. We're going to Disney, and at Disney there's a lot of cars, there's a lot of like golf cart traffic late at night, and so as we're walking her late at night, I just want to make sure we're nice and safe. So not related, but what is related is I have been really trying to like batch my blogs, batch my videos, and get some products posted so that I'm in a good spot going back to this school year. So since there's still time, go ahead and think through like what are things you can do now that are going to help you throughout the school year. Like what can you get off of your plate through the school year, and go ahead and try to do a couple of those things. You don't have to do as much as I'm doing because, you know, of course I went a little overboard, but just do enough that you are not super stressed when it comes to the back to school time. And yeah, so I will say already I've just been like video wise, I've been filming 2 videos and prepping 2 videos, like links, thumbnail, all the stuff, but I've only been posting 1, and so that's gotten me like a little bit ahead each week. And I have to say, it feels so good to be like, oh, you know, my video is completely done and ready to go this week, and being like, oh, you know, I have videos like, y'all, I've been doing that every week. So I just do 2 videos instead of 1, and I have videos prepped for like through September. Like, it's a little bit insane, but it's such a good feeling to just feel like so prepared and have like my content planned out and have all these things ready. And it's just making me like so much calmer about the upcoming school year. So think through things that you can do. Maybe that's like batching some Instagram posts, just, you know, get a bunch of stuff in your drafts. Maybe that's posting some products. Maybe that is, you know, updating something, but just whatever you need to do. Or even on the flip side, making products now that you know you're gonna need from back to school. That would be a good thing too. But just try to think through like what you can do to make your life easier when school comes back in, because as teachers, we do have the gift of not working for 2 months, which we don't get paid for, but that's a conversation for another place. I do want to leave it there. Blogging wise, I've also been batching all my blogs, so I have all of my blogs for the next year written, which is like insane, and all the graphics, and I'm currently working through like getting all the links and everything put together so they're ready to go. And that again has been a really nice feeling. Like this morning I did one that I got one like scheduled, like it is completely ready to go for December, and I was like, ooh, that feels so nice, like to just be so far ahead. Highly recommend it just because it feels good. But if you are looking for some blogging help, as you may have guessed, I've been doing a lot of blogging on my channel because there's going to be a sale on my blogging course. So if you have been wanting to join the blogging course, then there's a sale happening very soon. So make sure you are on the email list. I'll link it down below, and make sure you follow on Instagram because I will be announcing it from the rooftops, because y'all know the blogging course is like my baby. It is so, not to toot my own horn, but it is so good. I worked so hard on it. It is so informational, and like my mom took it and she thought it was really good. So, you know, we're doing pretty well over here. So that'll be on sale very soon in the month of July if you are looking to start your blog. And it's self-paced, so even if you can't do it in July, you can purchase it and do it whenever you want. I love my little seashell. So cute, and it matches my outfit. Look at that. This is a cute little like romper that I got. I just got in the mail, so I will link it down below too. Now, the other thing I want you to focus on, not just of like what's coming back to school, but right now it is really hard because I don't know if you've noticed, but sales are very far down. So if you're making like nothing, you're normal, don't stress about it. But what I want you to focus on is, instead of focusing on the outcomes, focus on the input. So what I mean by that is, instead of thinking of like, oh, I made this much money today, because usually it's like nothing, it's better to think about how much work you're putting into your business. So how many products are you making? How many videos are you making? How many posts on social media? Like whatever it is you're doing, think in terms of what you're doing and not what is out of your control, because you have control over you making products, you have control over you making videos, you making blog posts, you making Instagram posts, all of that kind of stuff. But you don't actually control people buying your products. Like, you're not sitting there being like, push the button, push the button, push the button. There's things you can do to help, obviously, but especially right now, like June, July, sales are down by a lot, and that's just normal. This is seasonal work, and so it's just like a thing that you have to get used to. It's really frustrating, but it is just a thing. And so just instead of focusing on the money, like I hardly ever check my app because it's just depressing. Instead, I work on checking off all the boxes in my planner of like, yes, I made that product, yes, I did that thing, so that I know that I'm on track for when things, you know, get back to normal later. In general, that's a better thing to do. Actually, I was reading that in the book Working Backwards, which talks all about how Amazon works, and they make a really big deal about that. And Amazon is focusing on what the people are doing to improve things and not how many people are purchasing. Not that they don't look at it, but just apparently in the Amazon meetings, they focus on teams by like how many new products they're adding and how many, you know, things that they do, instead of focusing more on the number, because that's usually delayed, and then things like summer happens and they, you know, things are crazy. So as you are working through this season, really think through the inputs and not the outcomes. All right, I'm gonna take 2 questions off of my Instagram. So the first one is from Une Belle Classe, and she says, how do you decide between competitive pricing and charging your worth? This is a really great question because pricing is tricky. I will link a video about pricing your products down below. But when it comes to this, I will say the first thing is I never ever try to be the cheapest person. in general, like, why would you want to be Walmart when you can be Target? You know, think about it that way. I never try to be the cheapest person. And really what I do is I typically don't check prices at all. I only check prices if it's a new product that I've never sold before. But other than that, I have been around long enough that I just kind of know what I want to charge. I have a base price of $3. So pretty much like if it's a centers game, it's going to be $3. If it's, you know, a couple of worksheets is going to be $3, and then based on having that like normal pricing, I can tell if something is saving people more time, if it is worth more, or if it is worth less, and I price accordingly. So like I made some products recently that my Right the Room products I love, but frankly you can only really use them one time, and because of that I didn't want to price it at $3 because I was like, well, my centers games are $3 and you can use those over and over again. So instead I priced them at like $2.50 or something, so close enough. But I didn't really go searching for prices because of that. I have had times where I have gone searching for prices just to compare mine to other people's, and they did price things lower than I wanted to, and I did come down a little bit because of that. I don't love that, but I did because I was like, you know, I don't want them to be like, oh, well, I can get this cheaper version or I can get your version. So that is a thing you can look at, and especially if it's a new product you've never sold before, you're just not sure. But don't try to be the cheapest person, and then if you are going to match their price or be close to their price, then wait and see if your stuff sells, and if your stuff sells you can raise the price later. But really try to base it off of your internal pricing methods and not your external pricing methods, if that kind of makes sense. And that's gonna be the best way to find the nice balance of it, is like, I know this is worth $3, so I'm gonna price it $3 instead of going searching, because I don't know, maybe I'm expensive, but I find that happens a lot, that I'm like, if I do go searching for something, I'm like, why is yours so cheap? And usually it's because mine is way more in depth, because y'all know I do everything like way overboard. So my products tend to be longer, they tend to have more options, they tend to just be more in depth, because I'm just that kind of person. Same thing with my blog posts. I'll read other music teacher blog posts and they're like this long, and mine are like this long, like they're serious. But because of that, I tend to price a little bit more, and you can always change it later is the best I can tell you about that. The last question I wanted to take is Key Ideas MJR says, do you think it's important for new sellers to purchase the online TPT conference? Okay. I don't know that I would say it's important, but I would highly recommend that you do take the conference. The conference has so much good information from a variety of sellers, and it has so many different topics and aspects that you can learn about. I've done it the last 2 years that it has been online, and I have absolutely loved it both years. I don't watch every single session because there's a lot and not all of them are going to apply to you, but if you're new especially, they're going to tell you a lot of really helpful things for new sellers. Now, if you are new, I would be choosy about which ones you do watch, because some of them might go a little over your head, because some of them are very detailed, because they're trying to appeal from everyone from new sellers to very experienced sellers. So just be kind of choosy with what you pick to make sure it's the stuff that you actually need, and not like, oh my gosh, what is all this stuff? Because it can be a little overwhelming, but I really think it is helpful. That being said, I personally have a rule of the business pays for the business, so I would only do it if the business would pay for it. That may or may not be your situation. That may or may not be your rule. So you might be perfectly happy, you know, paying for it out of your pocket. That's great. That's investing in your business and you will not regret it. But that's just like my personal rule has always been the business pays for the business. And that's just kind of where I am with that. So if you are a new seller and you have the money, I would highly encourage you to do the online conference, especially because you don't even have to leave your house. Like, you can literally sit in your pajamas and like eat popcorn and have a great time. Or, you know, like sit and make your TPT products while you're watching the videos, because y'all know I love to multitask. Not that I'm recommending that, but you know. So I would recommend it if you have the, you know, finances available, and if that's just something that is doable for you, make sure that that's something you can do. But yeah, I would highly recommend it if you can. So that is all the stuff that I wanted to talk about. We are about to head out to fake Father's Day. By that I mean my dad was out of town the last 2 weekends, so we haven't had Father's Day, you know, like celebration yet. So we're gonna do dinner at my dad's favorite restaurant, which is just a burger place. But if you're ever in Savannah, B&D Burgers, the best. Like Savannah local, all the burgers are named after different places in town, which is really fun, and it's so yummy. And they have like 3 different locations, so chances are you're gonna be staying near one of them. So if you're ever in town, definitely check out B&D Burger. It is the best. It is the best. My current favorite is the chorizo sliders. Delicious, delicious. But everything is good. I don't think I've ever had anything that's bad. And if you are from out of town, they have some gator. I think they have gator, fried gator on a stick, and then they have gator sliders, like alligator. So those are fun things if you're from out of town, because yes, we have gators here. That's a thing. Anyway, I'm gonna go finish up my coffee because I never actually drink it while we're sitting here, and I look forward to hearing who your favorite Disney princesses are. Y'all know I love Disney, so I'm excited to go to Disney soon with my Tolly, and I'm gonna stop yammering and get going. Bye.